This, you guys, is what an answered prayer looks like if a neighbour has fixed the kitten problem. Look at that. He's put a little cat house in the garden for them, and if it rains, he's going to wrap it in a tarpaulin to keep the rain out. So the kittens have been rehomed next door. And I am so happy. So even though nobody rung me over my little notice on the tree and we couldn't give them away to anyone, it's all good because God had the solution and it was right next door. So I am so happy. Now I don't need to worry about them anymore. Oh, and I suppose I'll still be able to visit them because they're awfully close. You guys, this is so funny. Mum's working on this outfit and she's got it on this dummy, which is her size, obviously, and the cat gets really confused, and when he wants to go out, he talks to it, and he's wow, wow. He looks at the dummy because he thinks it's Mum, and it makes me think of that verse in Isaiah about idiots that pray to blocks of wood that cannot hear them or see them. It's really hilarious. I'm going to show you something highly offensive. You won't understand why this is offensive until I explain it to you in a rageful manner. Look at that. He's sleeping in his bed because Dad put him in the bed. And if we put him in the bed, he just gets straight out. But if Dad puts him in the bed, he goes to sleep. He has no respect for me and Mum whatsoever. But he thinks that Dad is just this, I don't know, prophet from the Bible or something. He's got so much respect for him. And sometimes he leaves when Dad leaves and he doesn't come back for the whole day until he sees Dad's white ute pull up in the driveway. It's quite offensive, but last year he got all confused because someone else parked their white ute at the end of our driveway and he thought it was Dad come home. So he arrived early, but he hasn't gone out today because it's actually getting quite cold and he hates the cold. So we're going to have to find somewhere else for the house lion, aka Rika, to sleep because Dad actually makes our soap and he's set up his little soap making station, but we don't want the cat in here while it's got all our soap making stuff. So I don't know where we're going to put him because he's not going to want to spend the night outside, but he can't sleep in his precious laundry at the moment. So that is a little problem that we're currently trying to solve. I'll let you know what we decide. So this is my little workspace down in the basement. Dad reshuffled his desks around the other day and I came down and here was this empty little desk and I thought, that looks like a good place for Ruthie. So I just set up. And when he came home, I said, I've just set up in your office. Can I stay there, please? And he didn't say anything. He just smirked, which means he loved the idea. Sometimes you have to know how to translate these things. And I was appalled the other day because I tried to read something in Latin and I couldn't do it because it's been about 3 years since I was reading it regularly. And if you don't use it, you'll lose it. I mean, well, you misplace it. I'll get it back, but my Latin Bible is currently in storage, so I had the bright idea of just printing chapters out from the internet. So that's the first chapter of Genesis. I dare say I won't get through the whole Bible, but I'm going to give it a shot. So I'm just going to try and start reading this regularly to get back up to speed and maybe improve. Oh, and you guys, I've been reading Beowulf. I've meant to read Beowulf for quite a long time. It's been on my hit list. It's the first epic written in the English language, or at least Anglo-Saxon, so a form of English. Obviously, I can't understand the original because I only speak English. I have heard that if you can speak German, you can understand English, you can understand Beowulf. I don't know if that's true or not, but I did not expect to enjoy Beowulf. I thought it was going to be a big, ghastly job. And I was so wrong. I'm really enjoying it. I think this is an abridged version. And the other day, Mum said to me, are there any books I should be keeping my eye out for you? And in the first place, great way to start a sentence, Mum. I mean, way to get my full attention. And I said, well, if you see Tolkien's translation of Beowulf, which is unabridged, I said I would really appreciate that. So, but in the meanwhile, I'm reading the abridged version off the internet and I'm really enjoying it. So, yeah, that's my little work desk, which I realise it's very boring footage, but I looked at my last vlog and it was so dull and I showed you almost nothing from my week. And when I showed it to Mum, she's like, oh, our garden looks horrible. I said, yeah, but Mum, we're not great gardeners. You know that's true. And it just is what it is. In any case, I'm trying to make this vlog a little bit more interesting for you. But considering I've just showed you my printout of Beowulf and my chapter of the Bible in Latin, I'm thinking that might be a failure. Oh well, at least I'm trying. So I'm just going upstairs to make my bed. It's quite late, but well, it's not that late. It's late to be making my bed, but I washed my sheets. And Mum was so kind because she got it in off the line for me. So I'm very grateful for that. So, oh look, these are my curtains I made. I'm quite proud of those. I said to Mum, this was about a year ago, I said, when you, no, it must be about 6 months ago, when are you going to make curtains for my room, Mum? Mum's like, you got a sewing machine? I was like, yeah. She said, I think it's about time you make your own curtains. So I did. I'm quite proud of them. But she made the tie backs because I was stripping wallpaper off a wall and she thought it would be a bit, I don't think she wanted to swap jobs. Well, I do think one of the great joys of autumn is having soup for lunch, and I made myself a delicious tomato soup. And, well, the only thing we grew was the basil from the garden, but it's still delicious. And this is just the kind of weather I like. I always think summer's too long and autumn's too short. Here are the garden lions, who now live next door with really kind neighbours. And they're looking so big and healthy. This is so perfect. They couldn't have got a better home than next door. They really couldn't. They couldn't, and it's so good for me. And it's a good thing they live next door because Mum actually ended up naming this one Jasper. And Dad wasn't very pleased. He said, why did you name it? And Mum's like, well, because it looked like a Jasper. And even the mum's getting less scared of us. She came in the other day into the house and just sat there in the living room just looking at me. She doesn't think I'm a problem. So yeah, there they are. Living across the fence and visiting. Perfectly perfect, I'd say. Here we have the house lion being fitted for his little business suit. The only question is he going to attack the tailor or not?
Yeah, how does that look?
Looks pretty nice.
Oh, it's not going to work.
Why not?
It's the little sticky things come off. I might have to sew them on. Oh, that's annoying.
The house lion is becoming impatient with his tailor. Ugh.
No, this isn't. Oh! That wasn't very CEO-ified. No, don't.
I think that's doling out discipline to a subordinate. Oh dear, Mr. House Lion.
I didn't get it.
Oh! And now the tailor's going in for another fitting.
No. This isn't nice at all.
But the CEO of Zealaus Publishing is not pleased with the tailor.
No. Here we got your pretty little things and you're being really nasty.
Well, for the sake of public relations, we will now be closing off this video while the CEO continues to dole out discipline to his staff.
Well, how is his bibs going to be any good if he's going to behave like that?
I really don't know. I'm chopping back the rhubarb for winter. And I don't want to waste what's left. I was reading somewhere that allegedly it goes quite nicely with ginger. I don't know about that, but I might give it a try. And then I'm going to go back inside. And it's Dad's birthday today. So I made a dark chocolate cake. Dairy, sugar, cane sugar, and egg-free if you're interested. It's on my blog. Very delicious. And I'm going to melt down some chocolate buttons and dribble those over because I found these chocolate buttons which are also dairy free. and sugar-free, so we'll see how they taste. My brother rang the other day and he said, tell me something interesting. And I said, well, I found these, the brand is No Shoe in Australia. I found these dairy, cane sugar-free chocolate buttons that I can actually eat. And there was a big pause, and he said, something along the lines of he wasn't going to get excited about that because he thinks the regular stuff is better. And I said, well, obviously if you could eat it, but I cannot. So I'm very excited. And also, you know how last night I showed you that our cat was so angry at Mum? We worked out why. He is a Siamese. He doesn't look Siamese because he's got long hair, but he is. He's a long-haired Siamese, and apparently they can get really jealous. And you know how we've been playing with the kittens in the garden? We think he smelt it on us, so we had to go and decontaminate ourselves. We had to just make sure we didn't smell of those cats at all, and now he's speaking to us. So yeah, apparently Siamese cats, you can't two-time them. They get highly offended, and when they get jealous, they know what to do about it. It's kind of cute, actually. Oop, probably shouldn't have done that. Oh well, as Mum used to say, if a job is worth doing, it's worth doing badly. I should probably add that we are a family of perfectionists, and if we didn't take that advice, we'd get nothing done. So apply according to your own vices. Gonna go inside now. So I've got Dad's cake here, which I made yesterday. This is my dark chocolate cake, and this one is really good. And I'm gonna try and make like a chocolate glaze on it because I got these from Woolworths called No Shoe, sugar-free and dairy-free. I think it says that dairy may be present, but that doesn't give me a problem because it's only traces. It's about $5, which seems expensive, but you know what, allergies are expensive, so I don't eat them very often. Actually, I'm not quite sure what to do because I feel like on Instagram, when they do this sort of thing, I feel like they cut them off and they make them all flat, so maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should cut the top off, and then Mum and me can eat it for lunch anyway. So the more I think about this, the more I like this plan. I'll just get the big knife. No. There we go. This calls for Boudica, I think. Ah! Okay, that's not going to work. I was thinking of flipping it over. Because this one's made without eggs, it's quite delicate. Yes, my hands are very clean. I always feel like there's someone out there going, oh, you're touching it with your hands. But, okay, that's not looking great, actually. Well, this is actually how I get my recipes and my ideas. I experiment. And I was hoping to sort of flip it and use the bottom as the top. I might still be able to do that. I have an idea. Just a minute. Here we go. My eggless cake is no match for my brain. Oh dear. Okay, now if I... Okay. Ah! Well done, Ruthie. And it's still a bit uneven, but that looks a lot better. So I guess Hibiscus, say hello to our delicious better for you baking chips. Dial up the fun of your favourite baking creations, or just enjoy straight from the bag. Okay, I might have a little Google and see if they say if these can be melted down or whatnot. So according to the No Shoe Instagram page, I just put this in the microwave for about 30 seconds with a tablespoon of coconut oil, which I don't have, but I'm just going to try a regular vegetable oil. I think that should work. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, they look pretty nice. I get my tablespoon of oil, and I think they mix that in. I'm going to mix it in anyway. If this works, I am going to be so excited. I'll show you how that looks in a minute. Okay, so apparently now what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to mix it thoroughly. Oh, yeah, this is pretty cool. And then it said when that's starting to look quite liquidy, I give it another 30 seconds apparently. It's quite vigorous work, to be honest. Okay. Well, if these are nice, and I had a couple of camera, and they taste alright, I might be able to think up some kind of chocolate chip something or other, which would be really nice. I'm quite excited about this. So I think this is at the point I pop it back in for another 30 seconds. And then if that works, I'll tip it on the cake. Well, this is looking like something from a Rotorua mud pool, which I think is very good. Oh yeah. So just give that a mix up. Ooh. I'll bring the camera down low and see if I can do one of those cool shots like they do on Instagram with the delicious stuff just oozing down, making you want to eat it. Oh yes, 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 yes. I like the look of this. Oh yes. And there's quite a bit left too, so I don't know if I go down the sides or what. So I don't think it's going to be so much like a frosting, it's more like a chocolate. Well, I don't know what they call it. I think it might start with a G and I cannot pronounce it. I feel like I really wish I had a kid at the moment because I think they'd be in heaven licking that bowl. That being said, I have myself and pretty sure I have an internal 8-year-old, so. Oh, that's so nice. So of course the question is, how's that going to set? But I've got to say, I'm pretty impressed so far. And I hope Dad is too. Not bad for a no sugar, no dairy, no egg cake, I'd say. Because I really hate desserts too. I don't want people to realise they're healthy. You know, I really think food should be nourishing, but it should also be delicious. I think there's something quite spiritual about food, actually. I think it's just quite remarkable that you can take something like this and put it inside a human and it nourishes them, but it also makes them happy. I think it's quite lovely. So I do not hold to the philosophy that if it's healthy, who cares what it tastes like? Nor do I believe that if it tastes amazing, who cares what it does to your insides? I think both are very, very important considerations. And actually today, I think I might just have hit the balance. Yes. And you know what, you guys, this is fun. It just sort of trails nicely, and I think this could give me a lot of artistic inspiration. I think Dad will like that. I think I'll let it set before I put the candles in. So I had an idea. I thought, wonder what would happen if I just shook a little bit of desiccated coconut around the edge. I just want a bit of a contrast. I think I preferred it without, but it's a bit too late, isn't it? I'm not going to go all the way in. No, definitely preferred it without. Oh well. It's giving that lamington vibe. Oh, you guys, that just gave me an idea. I might be able to look at how to make lamingtons now. Which is it is a sponge cake, usually cut into an oblong, and then it's either put in red jelly or jam or something, and then they or chocolate, and then they roll it in coconut. And they're very popular in New Zealand and Australia. I hate this when this happens, when I get an idea and I just keep going, and I could have stopped and it would have been perfect, but that's okay. I guess this is a learning process. This is how I get all my recipes and ideas. I come into the kitchen and I just play with ingredients, and yep, definitely would leave the coconut off. I feel like I was going for a look and I haven't managed it, and it looked a lot more professional before, but I will say it probably quite a nice taste though. Ooh, I should probably let that sit. I should probably leave it alone now. And here's Dad's soap, unmolded, and it has to sit for about 2 weeks to cure, because there's some kind of chemical process that takes over whereby it becomes safe to use on your skin, but you don't want to use it before. And it's quite good because he got it done in a timely manner, which meant the house lion was able to sleep on the floor, although he prefers to sleep on the top of the dryer, but the dryer is not currently in here. But at least he can sleep inside when it gets cold, which he seems to appreciate. So here's Dad's cake. Dark chocolate cake, dairy and cane sugar free. You can get that over on my blog, Me and the BFG. Me and the BFG stands for Me and the Big Friendly God. Link in YouTube bio. And that's Dad's birthday cake. Thank you so much for watching the daily doings at Rosebank House. It's always a pleasure to have you visit with us. And hopefully I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.